Five misconceptions. Prices. I think a lot of people think that the prices they are given on a proposal are final, as well as assets. I think a lot of people think whatever the club is providing as a proposal is what they're going to get for their money. When actually they can obviously review it, decide that they don't need this or don't want that or want more of this, so the number can change. I think that's probably um, one. Two, size of commercial teams. I think a lot of people think that even in the Premier League and major sort of sporting leagues have massive commercial teams, 50, 60, 70, 80 people. In some cases, the very big clubs, I know from one of my friends at Manchester United, they have something like 60 um, research people alone. But listen, most commercial teams are no more than five or six, and in some cases, in lower leagues, there's one, maybe two. So yeah, that's probably another. Um, I think the other thing, and we found out actually by doing our own research on LinkedIn, we did some polls on the cost of sponsorship. So we talked about, is a typical front shirt outside the top six in the Premier League, is it 20 million, is it 1 million, or is it 6 or 7 million? And most people put 20 million, and it was actually obviously somewhere in the region of 6 or 7 million as the average. So, but you can do that in Formula One, you can do that in rugby and cricket and MLS and NBA, NFL, and I think we basically across the board we found the same thing. People thought it was more expensive than it actually was. So I think there's an education process to be had there. Um, what else? It's a difficult one. One of the things that I suppose we come up against is sometimes, rarely these days, but sometimes is, do you have exclusivity with a club? And that kind of doesn't really happen anymore. I think it's crazy for any club to give exclusivity to one specific agency. Maybe a brand where they have very strong connection, so they can say, look, we want exclusivity with this brand because we know them very well and we work with them a lot. That's more understandable to get, but to give total exclusivity even to us, for a club to come to us and say, look, we'll give you complete exclusivity, then essentially stops them having other agencies looking on their behalf as well. So exclusivity isn't really something that we go for, that we ask clubs for. We have very open, transparent relationships with teams, so we don't really need that exclusivity. So that's another. I think the other thing, I suppose, from the outside, people think that we are doing deals all day, every day, and that's when we're constantly negotiating. And actually, there's a lot of grind that goes into what we do. If you look at us just as a sales organization, our job is to bring brands and sports teams together. There is a lot of grind, and you build those relationships. We're doing deals today that the relationship started 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even. So sometimes it takes a long time to build that relationship, to build that trust, to build for them to kind of know that you've got that knowledge base. So I think that's another one. So that's five, right? So yeah, those are five off the top of my head.